Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I don't know. I have this studio microphone from the. This is from the Howard Stern show, like actual studio, and this one is like some Fugazi one, which seems to be doing a little better. I always like this one because it makes it seem like I'm almost legitimate, not illegitimate, like some people think. But I'll go with this one today. See how it seems. I like the levels a little better. Hi, everybody. Trying to do my 3 o'clock show / 6 o'clock show. And we got people on here. Do you know how to spell? What did I do now? It's a front for human trafficking. Yeah, no, I don't know how to type. I would have to say that. I've gotten much better at spelling since we have all these autocorrects, and it sort of teaches me how to spell. First, big shout out to the Boston Scully people. It's the day before St. Patrick's Day. Cardiff. No, I don't. If I spelled it wrong, that was based on me. I don't know if I could fix that. It's all right. Cardid Electric. I didn't know if it was 2 F's. Sorry. My first time actually spelling the word Cardiff. So it's not about, yeah, okay, that one I would have to say I didn't spell it right because I didn't know. But my spelling has gotten a lot better over the years. I don't know. Somehow I had some type of epiphany over the years where it's sort of connected. But yeah, I had an interesting weekend. I did the show this weekend with Tucci and Vince. And did you? Yeah, I'm typing. I'm a one-man show, man. I got to broom up my ass, and I'm sweeping too. So let me go live here on Instagram. See if we can get some people in on Instagram. So I'm live on Instagram now. No, I just want to be able to talk about my new adventure into the Dabbleverse. It's definitely exactly what I thought it was. A bunch of mean, angry people. My dad's good. It was my mom that wasn't feeling well, but I appreciate that. I didn't mean to abruptly go and leave the show, but I had to take a phone call. It was my dad. My dad never calls me, so everybody's doing well, thank you. And there's no leaving for, but I just had to be available on the phone. There was no reason for me to leave the show early on Saturday. I appreciate them having me on. They were asking tough questions, and I was answering tough questions. Today's the day before St. Patrick's Day, representing Galway up in the house. And tomorrow, I know this is not a Dabbleverse thing, but if you're a Clerks or Kevin Smith fan, I have the Brian O'Halloran doing a Irish Day party with me. Party, whatever, having a party on the radio. But did you ever film your trailer TV show? I filmed the pilot, and I just found it. So that's going to be available if you want to check out my pilot. It wasn't exactly. You know what? I'll do a pilot show. How about? I found it. I'm going to be able to play it for you guys. And the concept was there. I just what about the Dabbleverse needs? Top shelf liquor. All right, I appreciate all that. Still having. I'm down to if anybody can help me out with the super tips. I have to change the URL. And I have to figure out how to get it overlay onto my StreamYard. So if anybody can help me out, that I heard Cardiff is somebody good at that. So I just wanted to be able to figure out how, because everybody seems to play each other's show on the Dabbleverse, and I want to see what happens if I do that. I'm not here to badmouth anybody or to start a war, but they were talking about me on this show. It was a potato. Ironically, it was a potato, and I like that. We got some people jumping in on Instagram. Thank you very much. GH718 must be from Cookland. And Eric, I'm not going to be able to get anybody else in here. I'm already, I've got this computer over here. I got this computer over here. I got the phone over here. I got a broom stuck up my ass. I got to clean the floor. Got a lot of things going on. Be sure to play John's show as much as possible. He loves that. Yeah, I have no problem playing John's show. And I think he likes to slap injunctions or some type of stop order on that. But I have no problem going. I guess as much as I am a straight man in the real world, in the Dabbleverse, I guess it's a hard time for people to understand that I'm bi. Stuttering John seems to be one of the most hated people in the Dabbleverse. I think the Dabbleverse is his spawn. And I've had a very complicated relationship with John over the past 30 something years. But the problem is, I can't erase the 30 something years that we've been friends and all friends on friends. But the bottom line is, I've had some of the greatest times of my life with the human being. And there's been fights and there's been situations where I didn't like what was going on, but you can't change the past, but you can be in the future. You can be here now. And I am here now, and I'm dealing with what now is. So the pizza place, I was definitely a partner. I got an extra envelope on top of my regular salary. So yeah, it was just two people that worked very hard 6-7 days a week for 2 years straight, and you stink. Then why are you listening, motherfucker? The kinky loco, El Kinky Loco, you stink. So I go ahead, Cardiff, as well-known baseball scout, for find out just how much you value your 30-year friendship. I don't really go that deep into what's going on with John, other than the fact that I have no reason to hate anybody, to be honest with you. He's done nothing. He didn't hurt my mother. He didn't steal my girlfriend. He didn't take money from me. So I've sort of grown up since then, and I just don't like that harbor hate. Dark energy is not what I'm into right now. The obsessed with Stuttering John's life. Cardiff signed up a lot of triple ball players. Much respect. Little known fact, if you were a Munster fan, Grandpa Al Munster was one of the top high school basketball recruiters in the country. Little known side fact on that. But anyway, be talking about people recruiting baseball. Do you think so? I don't know. I think John is a drunk because alcoholics go to meetings. I don't think John's going to meetings right now. Hey, who doesn't like to drink? So, is everybody like throwing the first stone? Kind of just because John drinks on the air and John likes to drink. I like to drink. I don't drink on the air. I save my drinking for responsible times in my own personal confinement or at a bar. But I don't like to, everybody, if you are a person that doesn't drink and you like to cast a stone, by all means, go right ahead. But if you're taking drinks and going out and you're worried about John's drinking, I would think that's a little bit hypocritical. And I think you should be ashamed of yourself and go to confession. So if St. Patrick's Day, I'm kind of excited. It's always been a wonderful day for me. Unfortunately, this year, I'm not going to be at the parade. I'm always at the parade. It's going to be one of the, I can't say I have a streak of I've been at the parade for that many years, but anyway, so the Dabbleverse, I sort of jumped into the whole thing. Shuli is going to have me on Friday morning. I have Anthony Cumia here on Wednesday. Christ Grillo, John destroyed his kids' lives. I don't care. You know what? I don't know about John's personal life. I'm not going to comment on anything I don't know. If you guys want to jump on his kids, I will say it. I said it once. I said it again. Family is off limits to me. I don't want to know about John's family life. It's none of my business. Okay? And if that's information he wants to offer up to me, I would keep it private because this is public and we're all talking about shit like that. And I don't like the fact that you people go after people's children or you put people's personal information up. This is the internet, and it's kind of like this is what, regardless of whatever it is, this should be like a fun thing, not like when people are like putting people's personal information and talking about their kids. I go by mafia rules here. Families are off limits. Putting people's personal information off limits. This is something that we all come on here to talk about, break balls, and that's that. I just posted your mom's address on Reddit. Why would you? I don't care. Go ahead. Where's my mom on Reddit? Where are you going to go? You only that's a gated community, and plus, if you want to go to the house in Brooklyn, go ahead. You won't make it halfway down the block before someone stomps on your ass. But why would you do that? Like, what did I do to you to put something that stupid on Reddit? Anyway, that being said. The trailer park is not a gated community. Well, it is, and try getting your ass on there too. Yeah, that'd be worse. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to listen to what these guys had to say. Fuck John. Will Casey be on? I would love to have Casey on. Me and Casey did a show for a while. I used to go out to Long Island. I was actually getting paid to go out there. They would pay for my trip there and back, and I was getting $200 a show with KC, and we did it for about 2 months, and it was the most fun I had. KC is so much fun, and he's so great. I'd get Levy. I would have Levy on. Levy always like, and I don't mean this in like a physical way, but like Levy always scared me. Like he could turn, and the tall, dark skin, I can take them. So okay, so we should all call Grillo's mom on Christmas Day. Yeah, that's funny because that's a family tradition of calling my mom. The Dabbleverse will try to turn your podcast into podcast like John. Just be careful. Jim Florentine on? I would love Jim Florentine's the man. So these savage people are threatening me already. So I want to wait.
But again, remember these are the people
on here. Do I have to do it from this computer now? At the stage. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if I can get this to work.
Well, yeah.
And now
the volume's up. Can I hear them?
Ralph is in.
Grillo.
I guess
Grillo's in.
Where's this here?
So he stinks so bad.
There's no audio.
That was worse than Vince the lawyer.
I know.
I don't know. I just wanted to see. I'm not here to bash these guys.
Told me, like,
I just wanted to sort of respond to
that he had
what they were saying and just see if I could do this. But I guess not. The volume is not coming through, so there's something I got to work on. Let's try this again.
Think of anything to ask Grillo.
Grillo, he looked
volume's
like a
up here.
Headlights. He had no
Maybe the volume up here.
What's going on or anything?
Yeah. Okay. No big deal. But I thought just by having that up there, the volume would be on. Maybe because it's the volume over here. I don't know. I'm doing all this by myself. Some people like help me. I appreciate it. We can see and hear it. Oh, you can, but I can't hear it. So hold on a second. If I
good. I mean, that's the only the good thing you can say about him, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think he does. That's what I'm saying. He just wants to jump in the Dabbleverse because the only thing he knows about Dabbleverse is that there's money and that we make fun of John. And of course, he's not going to make fun of John, so he's taking that, thing.
He's a hero.
Eventually,
white knighting.
It'll all change eventually.
Who else could we? What other losers from the Howard Stern show could we bring in here? Poke fun. Like, could Grillo? I think I saw a post on Dabblers that Grillo's like our next lol cow. Like, if we let Grillo, I think probably the best thing we can do is if we let Grillo build something on Aftershock XL over. Just let him start kind of finding his show, finding his voice.
Yeah.
Right?
No, definitely. I'm on a new text thread now. Vince and Grillo.
Oh, God. That's got to suck.
Okay. All right. It's just there's two different computers going on here. I get the audio from one, not from the other. But I'll figure this out. But my problem is I need somebody else working this computer, and I don't have anybody right now. But I just want to give shout outs to these people, and I'm not here to step on anybody's toes, but Cardid Electric and Tukey and El Harambe, which is Alter Ego. These are people that I'm getting to know now. These are like some of the best shows on the thing. There's Dabble Point, Tucci and Uncle Vince, Dabble Live, Cardid Electric. Shout out to everybody. Blind Mike, Adam Bush, Kiki, Quadfather, Carl Hamburg. I'm doing my homework. Patrice Melton, Karmic Z, El Harambe. That's a guy he has the mask on. So I just wanted to be able to do this. Like, if I'm not going to be able to talk and pick up on this microphone and everything, so I just wanted to come on here and play around a little bit. I do have Casey Armstrong's brains because he's another person that's successful. So you guys don't take this so serious. Grillo has fallen on his head a lot. Yeah, that's the truth. I can tell you that. Notorious, fuck John. Everybody's sorry, but why? I get it. but you all listen to him. Kiki sucks. Stay away from Kiki. Cuckoo Kiki, is that what you're saying? I don't know. These people are blasting up. Come back to Ireland. Ireland was one of the best trips I ever had. I got to tell you. You're listening to John's enemies. I don't care if they're John's enemies. They're not my enemies. I didn't do anything to them. I have nothing. No hatred for them or no hatred for John. Why can't we just all talk about shit? You guys can do what you want, but I'm not gonna be prey to all this kind of crapola that's going on. But if I'm able to give somebody some, Keanu said no one from the Howard Stern is successful anymore, and that's the truth. Who could I say is successful? Billy West, Jackie the Joke Man. Who else was on the show? Casey's not around. There was the writer. There was Scott Einziger, but he sort of disappeared. And then Mark Cronin, he's a big shot. He went on, and Mike Ganji, executive producer, we're going to have him on next Monday. He was supposed to be on today, but Mike Ganji's doing well. Doug Goodstein's doing well. Brian Phelan is doing well. So Ralph is doing. Oh no, I'm sorry, Ralph's dead. Well, he's probably doing better than all of us. I can tell you that. This shit world that we're living in. John doxes a lot of people. He uses viewers to dox. I'm not going to put anybody's information up. I'm not going down that road. I don't like anybody. There's no reason to bring anybody else's family in this. Okay, you want to come in after me? Then that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't think Grillo knows how to send a link. No, I don't. Okay. Keanu said that someone like you will never sell a book. Well, I've sold plenty of books. And they have you on, and you can't believe anybody on here or anything. So I got a lot of good things going on, and you're not going to like it because success just spoils everybody. But have you wrote a book? No. Have you done an Audible? No, but I have. And I don't care if you like it or not. My book's fucking good. If you don't believe me, I would like you to go on Amazon and look at all the reviews. And that says it all. You understand that if you associate with John's enemies in any way, he'll go to war with you. I had a long talk with John, and I'm okay with that. He knows I'm out here, and it says I got to do what I got to do. And the Shuleys are already planning to go to your mother's. My mother would love Shuley, and she would love to have him on. And I hope they do. Shuley has been nothing but good to me over the years. You paid people in India to write. First of all, I didn't pay anybody. Okay. Why would I pay people in India if I could pay people here that speak English? So that did not happen. And you could think what you want, but I know for a fact that any review on the internet about my book is 100% real. You were involved with some of the best Stern years, and I was. Thank you for someone who's actually a nice person. I am not buying viewers. No, that is 100% false. Fake news. Okay, well, I didn't buy anything. I don't have the money to buy viewers. If I had money to buy viewers, I'd be using it on something. All written by Grillo. No, I wrote it with the great Jason Huza, who's a talented author and playwright. And he and I would sit together and we would write chapters. I would tell stories. He would write it down and I would go over it and change it. And then I would write stuff and send it to him. And it was a very great collaboration with the Jason Huza. Grillo, now it's time for you to learn how to tape phone calls. No reason. Yeah, he sounds gay. Yeah. OG Party Rock. Stuttering John says he'll break. What? His beak was way bigger than yours. Book. Gorilla Parts, the book. This one's autographed by my cat. I like showing this one because Upgrade autographed it, but Gorilla Parts, the book. I just sent Shuley the Audible, a free Audible, so he can have fun with that. Who wrote the foreword to my book? The foreword to my book was written by the one Grace Chauncey Hayden, who just came out with another book, Monahan Redemption, which I would take a look at because Chauncey is a dear close friend. I don't know how many copies. I'd have to ask Jason. He's in charge of all that. But it's well enough that I got a pretty decent paycheck. So how about that? So nice pamphlet, retard. What pamphlet? It's a book. Did you write a book? I don't think so. Hey, Grillo, imagine if you still work for Stern, your duties include putting his breakfast in a blender and changing his diaper. Sutter and John's book had sold, but more put it out for his platform. Did Did you send a copy to Robin? No. Unfortunately, I don't have any contact with Robin at this point. After she sent me to, God, I don't know what that, it was a weird thing. Anyone write the forward to Howard Stern's book? Not one person. I wrote a book about sounding like what? A douche? There you go. All right, guys. Next time I'll be able to pull up the audio. I just want to be able to talk and go through it and listen to it. I guess you know what I could do is I could shut this microphone off. Hold on. I don't want to keep you guys.
How long before you get the, can you spare a Venmo?
Well, no. It's actually funny because Vince is constantly telling Grillo, Rocco pays his guests, so make sure you get money from Rocco. And then I keep telling Grillo, I owe John money, so get it from John. And Grillo keeps saying, like, I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for the money. You know, I just want to, you know, promote and help you guys promote. So Grillo is saying he's coming into this with, you know, just the whole
Help us.
to help. Yes.
Coming to help us.
And turn this mic off. Testing. Anyway, so I did have. I don't think for 1 second, guys, I didn't understand what you were doing, and I do love gripping. Gripping. If I could just do gripping, I'd be great. I wouldn't have to do this show, but unfortunately, AI stole the movie business, and I'm back doing this. Being a grip and a stagehand were two of my favorite things I love doing. And you make a lot of money doing it. Unfortunately, it's since they had that strike, the movie industry sort of shit the bed. And they did kick me in the balls. I was very happy doing construction on Miss Maisel and a lot of other shows that were very successful. If I would have known about gripping or what they made and how it went down a long time ago, I would have had my card. But unfortunately, I was 2 years shy of my card before the whole movie business imploded. And stagehand work and gripping work were very similar. Local 52, Local 1 in New York. I got to thank you guys for being great. I just unfortunately couldn't take the waiting in between jobs because of the way things are. Gripping, you say. Yeah, Local 52 grips are the best. Do you know anything of fair use, Grillo? Fair use. I don't know anything about fair use, but so, and those guys that talked about me, I didn't have any big problems. I just like to dispute what some things were said. And Bright Shot, unfortunately, Bright Shot got ran out of the business by Arri. They copied our model and went or circumvented our patents, and then went to everybody that was a client of ours and forced them to go with their package and not ours. When I say package, a lighting package means, you know, there's a lot of different lights in a movie set, and we got sort of scammed out. So Susanna, tied to John's shoelaces. What else? I always say that tying John's shoelaces with metaphor and physical. John, he has a problem with basic things that go on where he just doesn't think he could do it. Grillo, please explain the name of your podcast. What does it mean? Well, when I'm not saying I'm the first podcaster, but I was into podcasting at the very infancy, doing it at my buddy Joe Aspromonte's house on Hard Rock Radio Live when no one was really talking or about anything. It was one of the first radio internet podcasts. It was a radio internet station, and me and Joe would go on a Friday night and just really go at it. And when I started to develop this, I thought maybe it would be fun to do a sort of a reality show on the next big shock jock, because I thought there was a void that needed to be filled by Howard Stern's pansiness or his lack of balls that he lost somewhere along the line in his career. There's got to be somebody in the country that could fill that void. And I came up with a pitch of who could be the next shock jock before the Dabbleverse, before anybody hated John's guts, before anything. And I actually was working with the great Tim Sabian. He was sort of like helping me out. realized that it was way too big of a sting. But so I thought after Shock Jock, but one bigger after Shock XL, Fred Norris was one of my favorite people in the entire world. So after Shock XL was originally going to be I guess reality show or a competition show about who's the next big shock jock. And I just sort of kept it and started doing, podcasts out of my friend's studio. And I think I could say safely I was possibly one of the first podcasts that actually had cameras, because my friend Joe D. Imperio, he had the studio in Times Square, and he was letting me be the guinea pig for all the new cameras and setup. So if you go look at Battle Chats and Aftershock XL, when I had the studio, I was probably one of the first people that had cameras in the studio. And then it started to build, and it started to get great. Thanks to people over at Battle Chats, they were very good at promoting my shit. Be careful with the name Tommy Jordan, a.k.a. Tojo. He's a booty bandit. So anyway, I had the cameras like before anybody, and then just when Artie Lang came in on my show, and he liked it so much, he started doing his show from there right before he fell off the face of the earth, which I did speak to somebody. If you want an Artie update, he is somewhere, and he's been reaching out to people. He didn't reach out to me, but the person that he reached out to, he's been calling. He's called him a couple of times, and apparently he sounds great. And I guess maybe he's out of his little cocoon. He ain't going to see him anytime on here. I don't think I want to be the person that digs him up, but apparently he's around. Do you scream after being rammed with after Cock XL? No, I've learned to bite my lip. Grillo, is Howard bald? Spill the beans. He wasn't bald when I was there. Are you still in touch with Monique from Media? I have no problem with Monique. She was probably one of the first dabblers to begin with. Grillo, she's a very dear friend. She's just impossible to get a hold of. Sending pictures of his poop condoms, so beware. Grillo, Tojo is known for sending pictures of his poop and condoms. What's wrong with people? Doom is all about the tax help. Well, I'm sponsored by Professional Tax Alliance, so if you need your taxes done, DM me. I'll hook you up. I appreciate that. Doom, if you're retarded, Spidey sense tingling. Retarded? Dropping the R word all over the place. I like it. Retarded's a fun word to say, and it's the best thing I could do to describe some people on here. But no, not retarded. I'm just a little slow. Get that right. So, all right. I got Brian O'Halloran tomorrow. If you want to ask questions and not be a jerk, if you're a big, I guess, Kevin Smith fan, a Clerks fan, a Brian O'Halloran fan, by all means, come on here, and he'll answer some questions. And John can't do the basics. No, he can't do the basics. Like, his car was filthy, his apartment was filthy. The last time I was at his apartment in Calabasas, he had like dishes higher than the sink. So I don't like dirty dishes, and I like to make my bed in the morning, and I like to keep my brand new apartment clean. So it's a wonderful life here in Vegas. I don't think, John needs someone to hold his hand, possibly. So, but everybody's got their own disorder, and John's is OCD, and it's crippling. Why do you wear the Newsies hat? I don't know, because of the reflection of my bald head. And plus, I love the company, Boston Scully. They make really good hats. Grillo, when Ralph and Howard secretly a gay couple, I can't say that, but it was the oddest relationship I've ever seen in my entire life. Ralph, Howard had so many people that he could have been close with, but he chose Ralph, and it was a question for the ages. So do a gambling stream. That's one thing I don't have. I'm in Vegas. I think if I spent $40 gambling since I got here in November, it was probably $40 too much. I do not like losing my money in gambling. I don't like, I get more of a thrill of watching somebody else lose their money than I do myself. The question now, and we'll write them down, the chat room can turn into a meeting, the best to get ahead of them. Fudgical with a rare moment of real N-word shit. I'm not dropping, you're not roping me into that deep end. I'm not going down the N-word. Sorry, I wasn't allowed to say that word growing up. Not saying we didn't call each other's friends the N word at some point, but that was a friend thing. Never ever called somebody that. I wasn't allowed to. It's the house I grew up in. My mother said colored. No, she didn't. My grandmother did. True story. So, old Brooklynese people use the word colored. That's what they used in the 40s and 50s and 60s and into the 70s before African America came around. And but the N word is a nasty, evil word. Did Nick get work at Stern? Nick, I don't know who Nick is. John doesn't use bed sheets. It's hemorrhoid. John had hemorrhoids, and he had no qualms telling you that he had hemorrhoids. I still don't know what a hemorrhoid is, but I know it's something to do with your ass and some type of swollen vein or something or other. But he had, I'll give you the N-word pass. Nice. I don't think so. Anyway, John, he actually would go when he was playing, when he was opening up for Ted Nugent, and there was like at least 10 to 15,000 people. He would talk about his fucking hemorrhoid, and he actually had a name for his hemorrhoid. He called it thrombosa. I don't understand why anybody. If I had a hemorrhoid, I would not want anybody to know that I had a hemorrhoid. I did use the N-word in my book when I was talking about a conversation with Tupac. So he used that word with me, and I thought that was pretty. He said, he used to call me his N-word. And when he found out that I never smoked a blunt before, he said, "Yo, N-word, I didn't know you smoke." And then when he found that I worked on the Howard Stern show, he used the N-word to say that Howard Stern was his N-word. So yeah, I'm a racist. Far from it, my friend. So there was I'm not getting roped into racial discussions with people that are just looking for me to be hurtful, and I'm not a hurtful person, and I'm not racist. Sorry, buddy. So nobody's going to give me a pass to say whatever I can say, but I'm not gonna, because it's respect. And if you can't go that way, I'm not going to talk to you, because I'm not that guy. So, but wasn't brought up like that. My mother and father did a very good job, at least teaching me respect for other people and the color of their skin. I feel completely disrespected. Yeah, no, it's okay. You can drop it all you want. I'm not going to do it. Have Tommy Jordan as soon as possible. You won't be sorry. I'm down for whoever. I'm putting myself out there. I'm making this successful. I don't care what happens. And if it means drowning in the Dabbleverse every day, I'm gonna fight and drown. Or why are spaghetti Americans so greasy? Let's sing the Black National Anthem together to prove you're not a racist. Would it be gin and juice? How about something from third base? They're white but not black. Grillo Fudgicle is right. You need to have Tommy Jordan on. Okay, I have Tommy Jordan reach out to me. A quick John Stamos story. John Stamos. It was New Year's Eve. I was out with one of my ex-girlfriends. We were at a fancy restaurant, and all of a sudden, a bottle of champagne appeared at my table, and it said compliments of the man and woman over there, and it was John and Rebecca Romaine. Sent me a bottle of champagne with my ex-girlfriend at some restaurant we were at on New Year's Eve, and it was pretty cool. I definitely got laid that night. The last time I saw John Stamos, I was at his house, and he has I guess a big recording studio in the back of his house. And I guess the night before, he said I had Mike Love and Wilson were there, and you got to the talk. So poop condom guy, you don't want that. Yeah, you're right. I don't whatever. Someone gets a little out of hand, all you have to do is go, goodbye. How much money did John borrow from? He never borrowed a dime from me. I had nothing to give him anyway. But no, he never borrowed a dime. Yeah, Mike Love and Wilson. Why can't I think of his first name? Yeah, he got them together at his house the night before I was there. Your background reminds me of my kids. Yeah, I'm in a casita right now. This is the man cave of the great Richard Prinzi, who helped me out and got me out to Vegas and is supporting or backing this show. He is my official sponsor, Professional Tax Alliance. They bring you peace of mind, for fuck's sake. So what's the secret that John knows about you? Oh, it was because I was friends with Jennifer Flowers, I told John a couple of things that she talked about on the air before she talked about it. So Jennifer Flowers is a very good friend of mine. If you go to my channel, you could find the interview that I did with her, and that's when couldn't it do? I don't know what you just said, Mom. Bet you John Stamos got laid that night too. So they yeah, no, it was Jennifer Flowers. I told him about Jennifer Flowers and how she flew me down to Branson, and I spent the week before Thanksgiving with her during COVID, and we had a wonderful time. And she's an awesome person. No, there wasn't no sex involved, but she did the things that she told me on my show are the things that I spoke to John about, and I just was not scared, but I didn't want that to get out if he was in one of his psychotic modes. But that's about it. So anyway, I'm going to end this. Did you ever bang any of John's exes? Absolutely not. And props to John. I know you don't like props, but he always had a beautiful girlfriend. And with that, I will be leaving everybody because I have things I have to do. I got to prepare for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Corned beef and cabbage and Irish soda bread on the menu tomorrow. So yes, I did. What? Did you ever bang any? No, I didn't. Who would I bang? If I did, it wasn't a girlfriend. Good call on dropping the Xmas lights on top of a messy shelf. Thanks. Half-free. 38 minutes is not a show. It's a show if I say it's a show. I didn't expect to be on here this long, but you people keep asking me questions, so I'll stay on. You got laid that night too? Yeah, Stamos definitely got laid. Stamos, you know what gets me crazy about Stamos? Not only is he just a genuinely nice guy, not only is he an extremely handsome man, but his talent does not just stop there. Not only can he act, okay, but he can play the drums, sing, and dance. Like, it doesn't stop with John Stamos, his talent and his looks. It's like you just think it just stops at him being a good-looking guy, and he's just like that poster child for a good-looking guy. No, his talent is endless, and he's a good person. So corned beef isn't very Irish. I know it's not. It wasn't in Ireland. It was a something that the immigrants had to eat that the Jewish community introduced to them because it was a cheaper meat that no one bought. So they had to buy the corned beef. I know everything, so I understand that. Bet you John Stamos got laid that night too. So anyway. But that's about it. I'm going to just wrap this up because I have things I got to do. But I appreciate everybody. Again, tomorrow is going to be Irish Day, St. Patrick's Day with Brian O'Halloran, for fuck's sake. I know it's not a Dabbleverse thing, but if you're a Kevin Smith fan and you know who Brian O'Halloran is, please come on. And no, I'm never politics, never religion. Fudsicle, I'm not smart enough to talk politics, and there's no religion. So no religion, no politics. Maybe I should change the name to that on my show. No religion, no politics. At my white trash trailer, I do have a sign in my window that says no religion, no politics. And when it comes to intelligence, I will tell you I do not have the intelligence to talk politics. And I'm not going to go down that road, Norm. You have your opinion. Keep it to yourself. I don't want to know anything. So I know some people are out there. They got very strong opinions, and you're not going to change my opinion, and I'm hell of a not going to change yours. So on that note, I'll leave it alone. Wednesday, Anthony Cumia. I should have super tips set up by then. I want to thank John is a Muslim extremist dog. John, I always thought John was just Jewish because he loved Jewish girls, and he always was with a Jewish girl. And I just thought he wanted to be Jewish because that's all he ever dated. Anyway, Susanna was Jewish, and the girl before, Karen, was Jewish. And he always admitted, he goes, I just love those Jewish girls. And nothing wrong with loving the Jews. Anyway, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day. I'm not going to say anything bad. Sorry if that sucks. John, don't like the shoelies. Well, that doesn't mean it's personal. That's why it doesn't have to do. No religion, no politics. Sign on a trailer is like putting lipstick on a pig. Correct, sir. Correct. On that note, thank you, everybody. I'll talk to you later.